the weekly top 5. It
Woo!
is one of our favorites and we love doing it, and we hope you guys are enjoying it. So, this week we talked a lot about video games last week, and we thought this week we would give you guys our top 5 video games. Now, by no means are these the best video games of all time. Everybody's stuff is subjective. So, this is our list. And if we would love to see your guys' lists, let us know if you guys have any other thing that you guys would like us to rank. Anything, let us know. Movies, superheroes, TV shows, like just let us know. So, starting off, Paul will get you started off here.
Okie dokie.
And what do you got going on in the ranking room for this week?
So, since we're going with top 5 video games, I had to think long and hard about all
Yes.
the video games I played
Yes.
in my life, and I've played a lot. I have played a lot.
Yes.
So, I tried to go with, video games that have been very near and dear to my heart, video games that I have played multiple times on multiple different consoles. So, starting off with my honorable mention. My honorable mention for this week is Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. This game, whenever it came out, I was, like, blown away. It was an amazing Star Wars games, and I think before that, like, there was Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I played almost every single Star Wars game that's ever come out. And this one just it made you feel powerful. You had the Force, and you were not afraid to use it, and you were going around taking down stormtroopers and Wookiees and everybody, and you were just the most powerful thing in the world. So that's my honorable mention. And if that is my honorable mention, my top 5 is just even greater.
Oh.
So yeah, starting with number 5, number 5 spot is Spider-Man on PS4, which is probably surprising to some people because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. But again, that just shows you how great these other games on my list are. I was so hyped whenever this game got announced. Like I said, I went and bought a PS4 just to play this game. So obviously this game was super important to me and it's an amazing game. Anybody who's ever played the Sony Spider-Man games tells you they are just some of the best games ever that are out there. They make you feel powerful, they make you feel like you're a superhero. The story is great, the combat is great. Swinging around New York City. I have never felt that much joy since Spider-Man 2 came out on the PlayStation 2 long, long, long ago. And this one was just it was a great game to bring me back into the Spider-Man video game fold. Coming up at number 4, I've got Resident Evil 4, the original. The remake is good as well. I love the remake, but the remake doesn't exist unless you have the original Resident Evil 4. And this game was amazing. I played it on every single console that it got released on. I played it on PS2. I played it on the Wii. I played it when it got ported over to Xbox 360. I played it when it got ported to Xbox One. I played the VR version of this game. It is good every
How was
single
that?
time.
How was the VR version of that?
I got a little nauseous just
I
because
was gonna say.
I'm bad when it comes to VR games where you're actually moving. If I'm sitting in one spot, I'm good. But if I'm moving in a game, I get a little bit seasick. But the gameplay and the game itself was excellent. It was literally just this game, but ported over to where you're in Leon's shoes and you're looking out of his eyes, and it's great. It doesn't matter which console you play this on, this game is excellent every single time. And I played it, gosh, I've probably played this game from start to finish at least 40 times,
Oh, I
which
knew when it came out with the remake, I knew I wasn't gonna see you for a couple days. Like,
yeah, no, I played the remake. I think I played the remake from start to finish 10 times already, and that's just
like,
on one console.
just to put this in context, guys, me and Paul every week went and saw a movie. Every week when we lived in the same state, we saw movies, and that went on for 5 years. We went and saw movies every single week pretty much, and I knew when it was coming out, I was like, "Well, we're not gonna go see a movie this week, Paul. Me and Paul are gonna be
Nope.
in our in our rooms playing this game." So,
Yes, so, like, that the remake is that good, the original even better. So, Resident Evil 4, I I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this game. Alright, moving on. Number 3, Sonic Adventure 2. This game, yeah, I spent hours and hours playing this game. It was so much fun, and I love this is the game that introduced Shadow, so, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie, just came out last year, I believe, and this is the game that that movie got most of its inspiration from. You've got Shadow, you've got Dr. Gerald Robotnik, you've got the whole moon base and everything, and it was just an excellent game. You played as the heroes, you played as the villains, then they joined forces in the end to fight an even bigger threat. And every character plays differently. Sonic and Shadow were the speed demons, so they were the running levels. When you played as Tails or Robotnik, you're in a giant robot mech blowing up stuff. And then Knuckles and Rouge the Bat, sorry. Um, their levels were like treasure hunting, where you're like stuck in a big room and it's like, all right, there's three master emeralds that you need to find. Go find them. Those weren't always my favorite levels in the game, but sometimes the music in those levels, oh, excellent. The game itself, though, obviously an excellent game. It's in my top three. Sonic Adventure 2. All right, my top two. Another Spider Man game. This is the Spider Man game that came out for the PlayStation 1 in the year 2000. I would not be surprised if this is the game that caused me to love Spider-Man. I I could not tell you how amazing this game is. It felt like a comic book, like each different level was a different comic book, and the story just kept ramping up and ramping up and ramping up, adding more villains, adding other heroes, Human Torch was in the game, Black Cat, Daredevil. It was everything that you could wish for in a Spider-Man game. And obviously, being from the era that it's from, the graphics are not the best. I mean, you go look at it now and you're like, this looks like dog water. But at the time, it was amazing. And it was just a fun, fun game. And like I said, it's probably one of the reasons that I love Spider Man so much. This game and the 1994 animated series, that is what got me into Spider Man. And then it just built up from there. But if yeah, Jacob, have you ever played this game before? Or have you ever seen this game before?
I have seen the game, but I have never played it. It was
Okay.
before my time.
Yes, definitely. Well, if you can find a port, I know that there's ports for PC. I don't know if there's a port for console, but if you could find a port and play it, you will thank me because Spider-Man 2018, it definitely steals some of the tips that you would get
Mhm.
from Spider-Man 2000. But yes, there's my number 2 game. And my number 1 game, Life is Strange, which is probably kind of surprising considering all the other games on my list are like action-based games, horror-based, superhero. This is from out of left field the most different game on my list. But when I tell you that this is my favorite game of all time, I am not joking because I got the shirt from the game right here. This is the most emotional, story-driven game I've ever played. And when I played this game, I bawled. I literally sobbed and bawled for probably an hour when I got to the end of the game. And I just fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with Max. I fell in love with Chloe, everybody else in the game. The the way that the game is, it's a story-driven game, so you make choices and those choices affect how everybody reacts and how everybody treats you later on in the game. Kind of like Until Dawn, the different choices you make in that game. But the trick with this game, or the special thing about this game, the main character Max that you play as has the ability to rewind time. So if you make a choice and you're like, I didn't like that choice, you could rewind time and then make a different choice. And then that just helped make the game even better. and the entire series, I've loved the entire series that I've played every single game, and it all started here. Life is Strange is my number 1 favorite game of all time.
Gotcha. So summing it up again, what is your full list?
So starting off, my honorable mention was Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, made you powerful. Spider-Man 2018, love Spider-Man. Resident Evil 4, can't beat the zombies. Number 3 was Sonic Adventure 2, gotta go fast. Number 2, Spider-Man from the year 2000, and number 1, Life is Strange.
All right, guys. So now that was Paul's list. So moving on over to my list, there is going to be some big differences. Okay, reason why is because, like I've said, me and Paul, there. If you guys haven't figured it out, there's a little bit of an age gap between me and Paul. I am in the younger generation of gaming, and Paul is a little bit in the older generation of gaming. So you guys are going to see that there is a difference. So, anyways, starting off, and I get it. I am gonna get some slack for this one, and I don't care. But my honorable mention for my favorite, my top 5 games of all time, my honorable mention is Fortnite. Guys, give me all the shit you want in the comments. Everything. Load it up. I don't care. Fortnite is the game that made me fall in love with gaming as in live service games and stuff like that. Fortnite was the first shooter I ever played. Fortnite is the game that had me hooked and had me playing over and over and over. Fortnite is the reason that this probably is it's there are multiple reasons why I love doing content creation besides just this podcast, but also my YouTube channel. But Fortnite is one of the key reasons that I have just loved what I'm doing, love why I am doing this. It's made me choose so many different paths in my life, and it's really weird. It's like you think a game would do that, but like I had the connections I have made with people through a game. Like guys, there was no way from when I did not live here with my family and was in the same area as my family that I could really communicate with people. I play with my aunt and uncle not every night, but we play probably once or twice a week. Like, and that was the way that I could connect with them and still talk to them without having to be on a phone, without having to do any of this. I was able to do stuff like that. Paul, guys, one of the ways I would communicate with Paul was I wouldn't call Paul up. I would text him and be like, "Hey, you want to get on Fortnite?" And we would play Fortnite. Like that it was a
Oh, yeah.
way that it wasn't just, oh, you're shooting people as a rabbit and there's a bunch of bugs around. No, no. I made connections with people and I have connections with people because of this game. And this game is so many reasons why I am wanting to be a content creator and why I'm working on it and why I am what I'm doing. Like I could go on how many things Fortnite has done for me, but Fortnite, that is why it is my honorable mention. So love it, but yes. So moving on to number 5, I've got Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was the first Resident Evil game I played. And I am not the biggest horror game person, not because I don't like the story, but because horror games I fucking hate jump scares, and horror games are great at jump scares. And they are like, you can get a jump scare in a movie when you're locked into somebody. Jump scares in a Resident Evil game and other games, you don't even realize because you are so locked in and playing the character. And the thing with a jump scare is you're not expecting it. And I feel video games do that better than movies because you're so focused on getting this item or walking to this location, and then all of a sudden, ha! And it Resident Evil 7 was also very creepy, and I loved it. There's one thing I hate about it, the boat section, but I don't play past the boat section anymore. So, it's an awesome game, I just don't play the boat section. I know you're like, "Well, how is it on your top 5 if there's one thing that you hate?" Because everything else was great. Everything else was great. I also love how in this game, every single person of the Baker family is a different type of horror. You have the dad who is slasher, who's a slasher type killer, and he's stalking you in the house, which is awesome. Then you have the mom who is a body horror, which is absolutely creepy and disgusting. And then you have the son who is psychological, and it is a great game, and it was what made me love the Resident Evil series and made me keep playing them, and just an amazing game. And I love the atmosphere that you get stuck in a tiny little house being stuck in there. So that is why Resident Evil 7 is my number 5. Moving on to number 4, I have Wii Sports, mainly Wii Resort. This is a game that I played as a kid over and over and over and over and over. It was the first video game I remember playing. It was the first video game I ever remember playing, and I loved it. I loved it. I would go over to my grandfather's, and me and him would play this game. We would play this game for hours on end, and we would just be laughing our asses off at some of the shit we would do in this game, and we just it is so much fun. It is so much fun, and I go back and play this game. I play these games constantly. Like, I love the Wii. The Wii Sports was just amazing, and I loved it, and I hope that Switch 2 comes out with a better sports, because Nintendo Switch Sports was very okay, and I hope they make a better Nintendo Switch Sports 2. I really, because I love this game, and I loved it, everything from bowling to boxing to sword fighting to dogfight to baseball to golf. Like, they were all just so much fun to play, and it felt like every time I picked up the controller and picked a different one, I was replaying the game again and playing a new game, and there was so much selection, and it was a complete game, and I love it. So, yes.
I got a
Moving
question for you
on.
about Wii Sports
Yeah.
before you move on. So,
Yeah.
whenever you played the tennis or the baseball games,
Mhm.
did you actually like do the full swing, or were you like me and you just did heh heh heh?
Depended on the game. Baseball, me and my grandfather would play baseball. Like, we had a character at his house where we started at 0 and we played throughout the entire thing. And we were into it. The pitching, not so much, because pitching, we figured out that in pitching with that game, it doesn't matter how fast you're throwing it this way. It all depends
Right.
on how quickly you're flicking it. And so we
Yes.
realized that was the rotation on the baseball. So that's how we would play baseball. But when we were actually batting on baseball, no, we were in the batter's box. We
Nice.
were ready to swing. And yeah, baseball was probably my favorite one. Um, I also really liked boxing, but my problem with boxing is we would wake up the next morning and our arms would just be dead because
Yes,
we
yes.
would be boxing, and boxing is a workout. Oh my gosh, you don't realize how much, like, just the Wii boxing, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like,
It's
my
I mean,
arms
that
are
that
fried.
was part of it. They wanted to get you to work out and not realize that, "Oh, you're just playing a video game." Nope, you're doing exercise.
It was fun. It was fun, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Wii Sports as my number 4. Alright, moving on, my number 3, we have Spider-Man 2018. And this game, this is the only similarity that me and Paul really have on our list, but this game was just amazing. I love it. I am so excited for Spider-Man 3, and it made me just fall in love with the Insomniac kind of branch, and I'm excited for Wolverine. We did a rant about it a couple weeks about Wolverine, but um I just love it. I loved that narratively we didn't have to do the whole Peter Parker origin story again, because we we don't need it. Everybody knows his origin. And so we could just jump in, and we got the Sinister Six, and the Sinister Six was awesome. Some of those versions of those characters are the best version of the character that we have ever gotten.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
big one, Scorpion. That is probably the best version we have gotten of Scorpion, not only look-wise, but I feel like character-wise too. Like, I love Scorpion in that. I loved, who's another? I like Electro was really good. I loved Electro.
Mhm.
Rhino, I love because Rhino has always, in my opinion, they Spider-Man lore has always struggled with having Rhino not look menacing, but not look cartoonish in ways. You've struggled with that in the modern era of Rhino and
Right.
how to do his lore. And I felt they did his lore perfectly in this game, where it's like, oh yeah, he got in a suit and then completely got stuck in it, but this suit was like a battle armor mech suit. So it's like, okay, we've now mixed how his suit's kind of like a mech suit, but then we've also then made it to where it's how his comic origins are, where he puts on a suit and gets stuck. So I love how they did Rhino. Um, just Mr. Negative, you really a character that not a whole lot of people didn't really know about because he was fairly new when this game came out, and you bring light to Mr. Negative, and it was just so cool, and just narratives, and it set up Spider-Man 2. So I love this game, and this game was very enjoyable, and I hope that they are able to tie up the entire saga in a couple years with a nice little bow, spider bow on Spider-Man 3. So yeah.
Spider-Man.
So anyways, moving on to my number 2 game, I have Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. I
I
could
know,
play that
you've told
I
me multiple times to download it.
dude, I could play that game for hours. I could play that game for I love Elden Ring, the story of Elden Ring, the characters in Elden Ring, everything in Elden Ring. It is a fantastic game. And it is the only Soulsborne game that I have actually completed. It is the only one I've completed. I have not completed the other ones. I've tried other ones, but it's the only one I've completed. And I think it is because of the world it's in. I love the world it's in. I love the mechanics of the game. It's it's so satisfying. It is by far the most satisfying game because these bosses are so difficult, and I cannot stress that enough. Some of these bosses made me lose my mind, but when I finally beat them, it was like, "Oh, thank God." I There was at one point, I had spent 4 hours in one night going against one boss, and it was Margit, but it was Margit when you get to the tree right before when he's blocking the entrance and he gets his badass sword. I was probably on that fight for 4 hours. I was really struggling to get the mechanics down, and I was on it for 4 hours, and I was just grinding and grinding it out, and I finally got it, and you just, oh, yes, and it's so satisfying. I also just it is the most immersive world I have been in. The world is I've been the most immersed in that world, and it has helped me through certain times as well in life. I tend to play this game when I've had people pass away in my family, and so it really has helped me. And I won't go deep into it, but I've pretty much in the last 5 years have had somebody important in my life pass away every single year, and so I pop this game out probably once a year and play it for probably 2 or 3 weeks strongly. Um, just because I get through it. Now I know this game came out in 22 and the game's only 3 years old, but like I said, I still pop it out, and it's a great game. And if anybody is like, I want a deep story, but I also want a challenging game, I say Elden Ring. So, yeah. Elden Ring number 2. And then number 1, it's my favorite game of all time. It's the game I've probably played the most besides Fortnite, and it's Batman Arkham Knight. This is besides the Wii, this is the second game that I recall ever playing. It's awesome. I this Batman game, this is Batman game is just awesome. It's what the Spider-Man game is to Marvel. Like, it
Oh,
is an
definitely.
amazing game. And Arkham Knight, I know that it's like, oh, well, people are like, well, Arkham City's better. And I get that, but also, weird thing, I played Batman Arkham series, I played it backwards. So, I got Arkham Knight first, then I got Arkham City, then I got Arkham Asylum, and then I got Origins. So, I played the entire series backwards. I did not do that on purpose. Pretty much the story behind it is I went into a GameStop with my dad when I was, like, 11 or 12. The game had been out for, like, a couple years, and I we were looking for cool games, and they're like, "Oh, there's this cool Batman game," and I was like, "Batman? Yes." And we got it. And as you guys know, this game is rated M. My mom was pissed at my dad. My mom was like, "You let him get a rated M game and you're letting him play it and da 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 da." I was like, "Mom, it's okay. They're not doing much." Like the whole reason it's rated M is because you have some dark stuff in there at times,
Oh, yes, there is.
you know exactly what scene I'm talking about with the Jokers. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say it because I don't want us to get in trouble, but the Jokers, dude, oh, the way that scene ends is pretty dark. But
It's pretty brutal.
I love it. I love that they were able to make Scarecrow so they put a Scarecrow who's usually not been a big threatening character. Yeah, he's got his fear toxin, whatever, but they made him the threatening character. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is he lives up to his name. And then as much as people trash on it and they're like, well, it's just Red Hood. I love the Red Hood twist on it. I love that they were able to put their own spin on it. And personally, this is just me. I think the Arkham Knight suit is cooler than Red Hood. Like looking wise. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Like Under the Red Hood is still really good, but Arkham Knight, the way he looks is very cool, and I love the way they executed it. So I it's my favorite game. I play it once a year and I just love it. So moving through it though, my honorable mention was Fortnite, number 5, Resident Evil 7, number 4, Wii Sports Resort, number 3, Spider-Man 2018, number 2, Elden Ring, and number 1, Batman Arkham Knight. So will do it though for our weekly ranking. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love our rankings? Did you guys hate it? Is there any of our games that is on your top 5 list of video games? Let us know your ranking in the comments below. Want more? Check us out on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, or even the link down below for the full podcast.
Leave us a comment if you guys have any thoughts, questions, or ideas. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more videos and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.